Welcome to our explainer breaking down the match commentary from an absolutely unforgettable night in Dallas. We're talking high stakes, win or go home, round of 16 action at the 2026 World Cup. The Iberian Derby, Portugal against Spain, the bigger nation taking on the champions of Europe. I mean, from the second that whistle blew, you just knew this was going to be an instant classic, filled with incredible tension, breathtaking near misses, and the kind of dramatic finale that only tournament football can deliver. We're going to break down exactly how this historic night unfolded on the pitch, using the broadcast commentary to really guide us through the tactical maneuvers and the raw emotion. Whether you're a diehard fan or just a casual observer, this match is a total masterclass in how quickly eras end and new ones begin.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right from the kickoff, we had this fascinating narrative playing out right in front of us. It was literally the ultimate clash of generations. On one side, you've got Portugal, totally rallying around their talisman, Cristiano Ronaldo. The broadcast commentary hit the nail on the head, calling it a great excuse to get the band back together for the legend. But then, on the exact same pitch, you had the future, Spain's Lamine Yamal. This head-to-head basically defined the underlying current of the whole match. You've got Portugal leaning super heavily on the immense, proven gravity of their legendary forward. You know, his presence in the air and in the box. And that was juxtaposed entirely with Spain, who were just seamlessly integrating the calm, space-finding brilliance of their young prodigy. It was the legend and the future, battling it out for survival.
And man, as that generational battle took shape, the first half just descended into absolute chaos, in the best way possible, honestly. Both of these teams came out of the gate and threw absolutely everything they had at each other. Portugal was desperate to strike that first blow, with guys like João Cancelo charging forward, just super eager to exploit any space in front of them. It was frantic, end-to-end stuff. In Spain, they were pushing right back, creating brilliant football through all this intricate passing. But here's the crazy part. Despite all of this galloping energy and really aggressive play, neither side could actually find the back of the net. The chances were absolutely there, but that finishing touch was just agonizingly elusive. Just look at how the tension built up in the first half. In the 15th minute, Spain puts together a total masterclass of one-touch football. Dani Olmo releases Yamal with this inch-perfect pass. Yamal creates the opportunity, and then Olmo somehow spurns a wide-open net. He fired it well wide when literally all he had to do was hit the target. You could actually hear the disbelief. Then, around the 30-minute mark, Ronaldo gets the ball at a really tight angle. Instead of just smashing it first time, he takes a touch, does a quick step over, but Unai Simon makes this crucial fingertip save. And then, oh man, just before the half, absolute heartbreak for Portugal. Nuno Mendes unleashes this powerful drive from distance. It takes a deflection and just crashes squarely off the crossbar. It was an incredibly brave run, but inches away from glory. So after all of that electric action, we hit the break in Dallas, deadlocked at 0-0. You could visibly see the rising desperation starting to settle in as they headed down the tunnel to the dressing rooms. The fans in the stadium, and really everyone watching at home, we were all just holding our breath. The match was perched entirely on a knife's edge. You just knew, based on the sheer volume of attacks, that someone had to break the stalemate eventually. But with every single missed opportunity, the psychological weight on these players was just compounding. Everyone was just waiting for that one decisive moment. When the second half kicked off, the tactical adjustments became super clear. Portugal decided, hey, we need to speed this up on the counter, so they inject Pedro Neto into the mix. He's just galloping down the wings, using his blistering pace on the outside to try and force Spain out of position. But on the opposite flank, Spain had their answer in Lamine Yamal. He was exceptional at finding pockets of space, brilliantly keeping the game ticking over and giving constant problems to the Portuguese defense. Because both sides were effectively neutralizing each other's primary weapons and running what looked like a half-marathon in the process, this really tense, gritty stalemate took over the pitch. It became a high-stakes chess match of who was going to blink first. And then we hit the boiling point. The fourth official's board goes up, 6. Exactly 6 added minutes. Extra time is looming. The whole pace of the broadcast speeds up. Players are frantically sprinting to cover every single blade of grass left out there. The urgency is absolute. This is the ultimate danger zone in tournament football, right? Every single touch, every clearance, every foul, it suddenly carries the weight of an entire World Cup campaign. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how things fell apart. Let's slow down and break down the precise mechanics of the goal that changed everything. Step 1. It starts with a super quick free kick taken by Spain. Step 2. While the defense is scrambling to reset, their versatile midfielder Mikel Merino begins to silently drift forward. Step 3. He times his run perfectly, noticing that the two central defenders have drifted just a tiny bit too far apart. He expertly exploits that exact gap right down the middle. And Step 4. With a brilliant touch, he executes this remarkably cool left-footed finish right past the goalkeeper. It's a devastatingly simple sequence, But the timing and precision? Absolutely world-class.
The reality sets in immediately. Portugal 0, Spain 1. That historic late goal by Marino just completely flipped the script. Whatever calmness Portugal needed was instantly replaced by utter desperation. They were staring down the barrel of elimination and had no choice but to throw absolute caution to the wind to find a way to stay alive in this World Cup. It was an absolute frenzy.
Honestly, those final moments were just pure agony for Portugal. They're forcing the issue out wide, with Francisco Conceição whipping some decent balls into the box. And then, the chance. A cross comes in, Bernardo Silva gets on the end of it, and it misses by an absolute whisker. As the commentary noted, if that was a slightly taller player, someone who could climb just a bit higher, that ball might have popped right into the net to save their tournament. It was right there. They had one last gasp, a final desperate free kick launched into a crowded penalty box with everybody pushed forward. But it simply wasn't enough. Spain held firm, the delivery failed to even beat the first man, and that was that. When that final whistle blew, the emotional weight of it all was staggering. Listen to these poignant words from the broadcast.
Playing for his country has meant so much to this man, but it's time to move on for Portugal now.
You looked at Cristiano Ronaldo, a player whose entire life has been defined by his astonishing dedication to his national team, and you saw him facing the heartbreaking end of an era. It's always a long, brutal trudge back to the dressing room when you realize it's time to go home. But for a legend of his stature, the devastation of this exit marks a profound and historic shift for Portuguese football.
So the crucial point is the contrast here. You have that crushing heartbreak juxtaposed with the terrifying composure of Spain's rising star. The commentators pointed out, he never overreacts to anything too much and keeps everything on an even keel. Think about that. While veterans were literally crumbling under the immense pressure of that winner-go-home reality, this young boy, capable of winning games on his own with supreme confidence, remained entirely unfazed. He didn't panic. He just kept providing moments that kept everyone on the edge of their seats, navigating an incredibly difficult game to shine in, all while maintaining absolute composure.
Which brings us to the ultimate question as we wrap up this explainer on an incredible night in Dallas. What exactly lies ahead for a Portuguese national team that now has to figure out how to transition away from the gravity of their legendary talisman? How do they even rebuild their identity? And on the flip side, having survived by the absolute narrowest of margins with yet another dramatic late goal, is this young, calm, and incredibly dangerous Spanish side destined for World Cup glory? This Iberian Derby wasn't just a football match, you guys. It was the closing of one massive chapter in sports history and the dramatic opening of another.